Hello friends! Hey, I think it's time for another update of what is going on here in Ukraine. Okay, so let's get right to it. There's a number of things I want to share with you in this update that relate to our ministry as well as just kind of what is going on with the political situation in Ukraine. So let's start with the question about Eastern Ukraine. That's usually what everyone asks. What is going on with the war? And what are going on with the churches in Eastern Ukraine? As you know, we have a relationship with a number of churches in Eastern Ukraine, and unfortunately it is getting more and more difficult for those churches because of political pressure that is doing a couple of things. One, it is requiring churches to register, and it's making the requirements for registration very high. They have to have something like 50 people who all live in the area in order to officially register their church, and then the church has to have their doctrinal statement approved by some sort of experts in the government. So that is very worrying for many churches in Eastern Ukraine, and pray for them as they try to figure out what to do. Many of them don't have 50 people that can sign some official document to register their church. And of course, they're worried about the doctrinal aspect of it too. But the other side of that is that they have made it illegal to meet together for religious services in somebody's home, I think if it's more than 5 people. And so that's Eastern Ukraine, and that's what's going on there. We're not in Eastern Ukraine, so thankfully we are free to preach the gospel and have worship services here. But pray for those brothers and sisters in Eastern Ukraine. They definitely need your prayers. I'll be keeping in contact with them. And that actually brings me to my next thing that I wanted to share, and that is this coming week I'll be going to Eastern Ukraine, to Kharkov, and we'll be helping to lead a seminar on Christian business. And one of the reasons that I think that this kind of thing is important is because as countries change their laws about religion, people can't necessarily be pastors that have full-time salary, be missionaries that have full-time support. They have to be involved in business. So how can you use business in a way to support yourself, but also to support ministries in the church, missions, and things like that? And so that'll be all of next week, pretty much, Monday through Friday. We have a special group of all guys from Eastern Ukraine, some of them from the war zone, that will be going through that. Appreciate your prayers while I help lead that. There's going to be a team coming of businessmen that are going to be leading that, and I'm going to be working with them as well. Now, I also want to let you know about our soldier outreach. As some of you know, we have been pretty active once a week going out to the base, the Army base just outside of town here. And, we had Easter Sunday. Yesterday was Easter Sunday. And I really wanted to go out and do something for the soldiers. But I wasn't sure how many would show up. We've been having a few more than usual, but still wasn't sure. And so we went out there, and we've had anywhere recently from a dozen to, I guess, almost about 30. We had almost 50 soldiers show up yesterday for our Easter service. And what an amazing opportunity that is to simply preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, to talk about the resurrection, what that means for them personally, and how they can put their faith in Jesus Christ. And that's what we did. We sang a couple of songs. We have a brother and a sister from our church that did some music for them, some wonderful Christian songs. I preached to them from Luke chapter 24 about the road to Emmaus and how so many people know about Jesus, but very few people understand the resurrection, and very few have put their faith in Jesus because he died and rose from the dead. And so that was an amazing opportunity to be able to preach the gospel to these guys. I think that I think we counted about 48 guys. I'm not sure if I know any of them who have ever been in a Protestant church before. So a lot of this stuff, it was just brand new for them. And appreciate your prayers for the soldiers. This week, many of them are going to be sent off to the front lines of the war in Eastern Ukraine. And in fact, I think, well, I'm recording this on Monday. I think on Wednesday they're going to be sent off to the front lines. They asked us to come out and just talk with the soldiers a little bit on Wednesday, and we've just received such a good reception from them. It's amazing. I don't know how to account for it, except that God is at work, and so it's a blessing. We want to take advantage of that opportunity to continue to give hope, to give the truth of Jesus Christ, because these are young soldiers, mainly young soldiers, and a lot of them are going off to the front lines of the war and may lose their lives there. All right, I also want to share with you about our seminars, Good Soil seminars that we're doing. We have just produced, this is the story of hope in Ukrainian. We have it all, have had it for a while already in Russian, but this is the Ukrainian version of it. We just printed out 50 copies, and we are giving it to some Ukrainian church leaders and people in the church. Take a look at it, give us their feedback on it. But what we'd like to do is print a larger run of these, about 1,000 or so. And it looks like it's probably going to run about somewhere up to maybe $1 or so a piece to print these. But if we do a larger run, that kind of helps keep the costs down. So if you would like to help with that, I'll put a little link down below here, and we appreciate your help. This is a resource that we use to train churches on evangelism. And basically what it is 20 stories from the Old Testament and 20 from the New Testament that goes chronologically through the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. And last year we did about 24 seminars in churches. This year we've already done a number of seminars, have a number more planned. But this is something that we train the churches in, how to present the gospel to those who don't know the gospel, who haven't believed the gospel. And then finally, I want to ask your prayers for our upcoming pastors conference. And I'll also put a link here in the description to this video. If you're in Ukraine or you know somebody in Ukraine that would like to go to this, our pastors conference is going to be May 7th through 9th in Belotserkov, which is central Ukraine. We're expecting several hundred church leaders to show up, and the topic of this conference is the pastor's family. What a vital topic, one that we often get requests on. So the speakers are going to be speaking on the importance of having a biblical home, and how to keep that home biblical, even though ministry sometimes can really be detrimental on the family. So appreciate your prayers for that. This is a time for us to encourage and equip church leaders from all over Ukraine, and you will be seeing more from me about that, as well as videos, and we try to make the content available in Russian language for anyone. But I appreciate your prayers for those things, and as always, if you're not signed up for our newsletter, check it out at sukafamily.org/pray. And until next time, friends, be blessed and keep praying for Ukraine.